Okay, so we have discussed Mesopotamia, Egypt, ancient China, and now we're going to move on to the last of our river valley civilizations. It's called the Indus River Valley. So you guys discussed the do now, and we are going to move on. So here we go. All right, so here's your first slide. I will give you a second, and then we will continue. All right, I'm still learning. My laptop does behave a little bit differently than my Mac does with some of these applications, so you just kind of have to bear with me. So, same deal. Okay, we've been talking a lot about geography with all of these river valley civilizations, and this one is no different. So, the river that they're going to develop around is called the Indus River. It is one of the longest rivers in the world, and it's the same exact deal geographically, right? Tigris and Euphrates. The Nile and the Yellow River and the Yangtze in China all periodically overflow and flood. And when they flood, they deposit fertile soil on the riverbanks. And then when those floodwaters recede, that fertile soil remains. And that fertile soil is super important for agriculture. And the Indus River is no different. So this is hopefully, this is the fourth of our four river valley civilizations. So this will be the last time I'm repeating it. But it bears repeating because it is like the main point of this whole unit is that you guys understand the mechanics of how these rivers support life. Okay, so the Indus River gives India its name. That's where the name of that country / subcontinent comes from. And geographically, it's also kind of important to note that to the north of India, and you could see it on the map on the bottom right hand corner of the slide, there are the Himalaya Mountains, and they act as kind of a source for that river, and also they offer that kind of natural barrier that protects against invasion and kind of insulates the Indian subcontinent. All right, next. I'll give you a second. All right, so you guys have learned the same thing 3 times as far as geography and these river valley civilizations go. So now you're going to learn it a fourth time. But there's also something unique about the Indus River Valley also that is kind of not found in the other river valley civilizations that we've talked about, and that is this: monsoons. So we typically use the word monsoon to refer to like heavy rain, but in reality, monsoons are really wind systems. Now, depending on the season, those winds can bring heavy rain or they can bring very, very dry air also. So you can see how it works here. The summer monsoon season, the winds come in from over the Indian Ocean. So when you look down here at the map, you could see the summer monsoons, the air is sitting over the Indian Ocean, nice warm air, and that causes the water to evaporate. And then when those winds push that air mass over the land mass cools that air and dumps rain. So the wet season in the Indus River Valley is literally just rain the whole time. On and off pretty steadily for months. And then in the winter, it kind of flip flops, right? The winter is the wind systems; those winter monsoons come from over the Himalaya mountains, and you bring very, very dry air. So this presents kind of a unique consideration for the Indus River Valley, because when you talk about agriculture and irrigation and water supply for agriculture, we're usually talking exclusively about the use of rivers, but monsoons in this particular instance present a unique geographic consideration that doesn't exist in the other river valleys. So not only do you have the rivers to use for irrigation and water supply, but in addition to that, you have to contend with these monsoons and figure out how to plant and farm around the arrival of monsoons, both wet and dry. So this is just kind of an additional consideration that's unique to Indus as compared to